another episode of Flourish Girl Flourish, the podcast, right now, right now, right now, on ZMR Radio.
Just let me say, I do for everything. I can never repay you. Thai beats. Just let me say, I do for everything. You dug in my face, my sin account. Dare not to say or to announce, but out of everything that I found there, so ashamed that was all in there. Shake it all off, let it all fall, 'cause everything that you thought you lost was a gain, never again. Sunshine and rain, let the growing begin. Pick me up, dusted me off, and took me apart. First to restart. Just let me say, I do for everything. Pick me up, dusted me off, and took me apart. First to restart. Just let me say, I do for everything. I can never repay.
What can I give or show you when you're already loaded? Some say your ways are coded, no worries, clip and molded. Only had eyes for me, I say I do. I'm devoted, lifestyle full of guitar, yoga bar, anecdote, breathe life into me, manifest the newness, discipline the ruleness. Every test you prove it. How many times I went against your word and left you fuming, but still provided mercy abundantly. Who do this? Roll less travel, yes I felt fame. Then I think about the strength I've gained, enduring afflictions and still maintain the walk of you whose shit has been ingrained. I'm persuaded, I'll give my praise. Dismayed that you be unsated. Your ways making it my crave. Chance to cohabitate, yeah, how can I repay? Come on.
Pick me up, dusted me off, and took me apart. First to restart. Just let me say, I do for everything. Pick me up, dusted me off, and took me apart. First to restart. Just let me say, I do for everything. I can never repay you. Just let me say, I do for everything, yeah.
Lately, life has been not just lifing, but to be real with you, lately life has been looking better. I'll say looking better. Being able to focus on those things that have become my focus, my new focus, and it's a little scary as always. Change by itself alone is scary. But as long as you commit to it, you got it. And don't you dare give up. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Flourish Girl Flourish, the podcast. This is your host, Wendy J. This is your host, Wendy J. Welcome back. And if you did not know, we are live. This episode is live. It's been a minute. It has been a nice little minute before we're actually getting back to going live, but I gotta ask. I gotta ask. Well, first, I want to say hello. Hello to everybody. Shalom. And again, like I always say, welcome, welcome, welcome back. I am excited about this episode because it's going to be that's as much as I can say right now. But please, on your spare time or even while you're listening right now, follow us at flourishgirl.flourish on Instagram. And you can do flourish on Facebook, and then YouTube is Wendy J. So that's another place that I am dropping episodes. You guys also can tune into all streaming platforms as well after this episode airs or the airing is shut down. So, how was your week? How was your week? Last episode we did questions on the episode called I Want to Know. And a lot of those questions that were asked, and even just thinking of different quotes and stuff that I will rush past or come across throughout the week, I I screenshot them. And that's another part of Flourish Girl. It's not always gonna be serious. It's not always gonna be, you know what, today I'm healing, I'm walking up this mountain. It's not gonna always be like that. It will not always be like that. We'll be able to laugh, have fun, deep conversations. Of course, I am the biggest crybaby. And I truly believe I got that from my dad. I truly believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that. But I want to know how your week was. I want you to be able to think of one thing that, and if you can think of more, congratulations. That's amazing. But I want you to think of one thing that gave you a different outlook on life this week. That's what I want to know. And I'm going to get ready to share mine. This episode is called A Glimpse Inside. Okay, a glimpse inside. What we are discussing today, well, what I want to talk about first is how was my week and what was the one thing that made me look at life differently. Y'all, I grew up in a single parent home. And even though my mom never bashed my dad, I never got to, it wasn't, I didn't hear great stories about him. And being able to break that ice and just talk to get to know, like getting to know my dad and just who he is, what he was, what he likes, what he don't, the tender parts of him, the angry parts of him, whatever. Oh, whew, it just gives you a different outlook, especially in the one thing that I kept saying when or while talking with him was that the best thing about being a child for me was the imagination. I could just imagine, okay, he may not be here because he's on a rocket ship or he's an astronaut, whatever. That was the fun part about it. But then once you get older and you want to start asking questions, I got some questions. And no, you are not on trial, but I just have some questions. So, I think that was the one thing that, of course, I like to share. Just, it was amazing. It's been amazing. And it doesn't all connect the dots, but it does make we'll talk more about that. We will talk more about that later because it's loaded. It's definitely loaded. But just getting to a place where I don't, if you don't want to assume something, ask a question. Just ask it. And sometimes too, I'm going to speak from both sides. If I'm, for example, if I'm wanting to ask a question to someone, to myself, don't be afraid to say the things that you need to say that could either help someone, that could either make someone realize, or that can get clarification for yourself. I overthinking. Woo! Talking about your brain is running 55 billion gazillion miles a minute on what you think something is or what you thought it was. And that gets you nowhere. It gets you nowhere. It actually makes the situation worse instead of just saying what you need to say, asking the question you need to ask, and being able to accept what answer you get back. Now I'm going to flip the script. If I'm the person that the other person needs to come and talk to, how do you receive something that could be so uncomfortable for you? How do you receive that? How do you how is the other person experiencing you having to bring certain things to you? How? I had to be aware of that because not even that, here I am wanting to ask questions to someone that may be uncomfortable. It may be very uncomfortable, but getting through those hard conversations is what builds a strong foundation, I believe, especially in a relationship that either is blossoming, flourishing, getting to that point of um, reconstructing and rebuilding, whatever. How is that person experiencing you? Are you easy to talk to? Are you gonna answer and then get mad if the person you ask the question back? Though, one thing I could not stand. The one thing I could not stand is asking a question to my question. And it not for clarification, but more like a comeback. And I couldn't stand it, but of course I did it to people. I have done that so many times. And it just showed me having the conversations just showed me that you can't assume. You can't always feel like you can just think one thing about a person and not you can't know that it's layers to you and don't think that it's layers to other people. You can't do that. And I understand we already we done already got we getting into the show and this wasn't even what we wanted to talk about. But what I did want to say was I always want to know how your week went. I always want to know how the last episode helped you throughout the week. So if you guys want to write me, you definitely can DM me at flourishgirl.flourish on Instagram, as I stated earlier. But definitely just let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how the episodes are helping you. And if they're not helping you, you can let me know that too. But I still appreciate the listen and the support. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get into the episode, y'all. I was just thinking of some questions, and for my birthday, which I shared on, I think the episode 824, for my birthday, I had get together. For my birthday, of course, I had a little get together. And the question that was asked was, how is your heart? And because that question was asked to me, when I ask people that as often as I can because I just did not know how much that I don't know how much that was just dear to my heart that somebody cared enough to say, "How is your heart?" Like, So the first question or the first thing that we're going to talk about is, how is your heart? And I'll start with me. how my heart is doing today is learning, focusing on flourishing. Like, this cannot just be a thing of, oh, it's just a podcast. Okay, we just get on here and we talk, or it's just a name. It's not just a name. Like, I have to definitely become this. Like, this has to be me. And focusing on flourishing. Um, I would also say looking within, which, as I always say, it's it's tough. It's change, but sometimes you can think too, how much changing does a person have to do? How much shedding does a person have to do? I just realized that that's what this season is for as well, the shedding. So what's also in my heart is, how much am I gonna have to shed this time? Like, what is this gonna look like after everything has been shedded the way it needs to shed? Like, I can always just think of hair, like you're grooming it, but at the same time, every day you're shedding hair. You're shedding hair. And sometimes it could be scary because of how much of a clump it is. Or, if you know that this is something that daily happens, you cool with it because okay, it's strand 2 or 3. Okay, cool. We good. I don't know the exact amount scientifically of how much your hair should shed a day, but you know when to be alarmed because of the clump. And just that's another thing, y'all. We'll discuss that too, because again, this is Flourish Girl Flourish. And another thing, I had to realize who my audience was. Just not focusing on, okay, I want this type of person to listen to me. I want this type of person. First of all, one thing about it is, if it's for a person, it's going to be for them. So do not allow that to drive you nuts. Because if it drives you nuts, believe me, it's it's gonna drive you nuts. But yeah. So let's get started. I'm gonna pull some more screenshots out my phone, and we're gonna see what we're working with today. You know, like I said, throughout the week. And that's what Flourish Girl Flourish is on Instagram. Flourish Girl.flourish. Just I take quotes and screenshot them, and I will discuss them, talk about them, and then I come up with my own and I post them. So please take a look at that when you guys get a chance. But let's start. The first one is, pain made me pray, but prayer made me powerful. And the next one says, I'm really into me right now. My growth, my care, my love, my happiness, my health, mental, and my peace. That is 5,000% true on where I am. It takes, I feel like it takes a strong individual to be like, okay, what we got going on, to take inventory of your stuff, to take inventory on how you feel, the things that are deep inside of you. I was watching something and it said, this woman said, you cannot heal a lie. Do you know? Do you know? I started to really look back on all those times where I felt like what I was what I thought I was healing, or what I thought I was actually trying to the areas I was trying to become better in were all a lie. All a lie. All of it. All of it. All of it. People like, how are you? I'm okay. And you're not okay. You're not okay. Even when you try to be strong, like, no. That's why I said this season is every season is something different. Every season is definitely, I look for it to become better and better, especially as I grow and be mature. That's another thing I spoke to my dad about. Being an adult, but being a mature adult. Right? There is a difference. I definitely believe that and know that. But Focusing in on trying to heal a lie does does what? Like if we're just let's just brainstorm together right now. If you are focused on healing a lie, what do you think you're gonna get out of that? The same thing, nothing, something better? Like what do you think? Ugh, mm, just crazy. Mm. So another thing that I learned this week, and I know, listen, we talking, we having a conversation. Another thing I learned this week is that not only will you mask your feelings and mask how you feel about things, you also know why you're masking. Like, I'm masking because I'm hurting, or I'm masking because I don't want people to know this certain part of me, or I don't want people to think this way about me. You're masking because of all of that instead of dealing with it. Instead of dealing with the things that have you wearing this mask. Like I said on, I believe the first episode back on season 6, you wearing that mask and you know it's gonna get it's getting hot under there. It is truly getting hot. Or think of like wearing a costume or a whole uniform. Like you're getting hot under there because you're not being yourself. You're not being yourself, and it's I find myself like some more. Okay, some more stuff got to change, or okay, yes, I may change on this one situation or this one topic. Let's say discipline is the word, and I think of all the things that I need to have discipline in. Okay, I'm doing that, but not knowing that it's layers to all of this. I'm truly into my growth, my care, my love, my happiness, my health, my mental, and my peace. Learning to make peace with the things that brought so much chaos in my life. Being comfortable in being chaotic, like being comfortable there because that's what you were always used to. It just had to be something had to be going on. Listen, I believe this is what this song is what they trying to say out. Easy like Sunday morning, okay? Now I hope they're not talking about, somebody being easy, but what I think the song is saying, just relaxing and calm and that's but I'm gonna say this. There is not one thing calm about me. I laugh loudly. I if something is funny, something is funny. That's all I'm gonna say. But definitely learning the things about me that I like, things that um make me who I am and make me the woman that I am today. Not the woman I was last week or last month or last year. Um Focusing on those things and yeah, learn this stuff about myself. So when people ask certain questions, you be like, or you gotta think about it. I know. Yes, because I know me. She's confident in what she knows, like, and not boastful or not, cocky and all that other stuff. But the next one I have, y'all, is stop doing leaf work and branch work when you need to be doing root work. I wouldn't even say that's called, or you would say like that's healing a lie, but I would call that definitely still being afraid. You're being afraid of getting into the groove of where, or getting to the bottom of where all of this is coming from. Having the conversation with my dad this week made me realize a lot of things of why I do, or why I do certain things. And not saying that I blame him, I'm just noticing that about me and seeing the patterns. You're like, oh. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. And just I would say just with my parents, period. Just realizing, the things that, you would do differently and while not bashing them, not of course not trying to hurt their feelings, but just without I say without blame. Just more so with more understanding that I mean, come on. Everybody was dealt a hand and they played the best they could with their hand. The next one I have is saying less is incredibly helpful. Not every thought is valuable, not every feeling needs to be voiced. What is often best is to slow down and spend time developing a clearer and more informed perspective. Ego rushes and reacts, but peace moves purposefully and gently. Ego rushes and reacts. So what they trying to tell me is what they trying to tell me is the times where I was like flying off the rim and flying off like a rocket ship, going off, saying things, responding a certain way. Again, not realizing how I make or how people experience me. You mean to tell me that was all ego? I thought it was like, those are my feelings, If I get into an interaction with someone, I want to talk about it now. I want to talk, no, I gotta talk about it right now. I don't like that. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I don't like thinking about things all day when all we have to do is have a conversation. Some conversations may be good to say, you know what, hey, I'm ready. Let's talk. I want to say XYZ in the third. And some conversations are they good. Let's sleep. Please, let's sleep on this. Let's sleep on this. Let's talk about it at a different date. Ego rushes and reacts, but peace moves purposefully and gently. So, hmm, celebrate yourself, girl. Nobody knows what it takes to be you. I want to stop here. And this is where, if you have a notebook and you're going to write it down, you got your notepad or notebook in your cell phone. I want to know, when was the last time that you celebrated you? When was the last time that you celebrated you? How did it feel? Who did it? If it was just you or if somebody else did it and you accepted how they celebrated you, I wanna talk about that. Celebrate yourself, girl. Nobody knows what it takes to be you. Nobody knows. Even when you share your experiences and things like that, if they have not gone through that exact thing, they'll never know. But they may, like I said, this journey in life is a path that we're all on, but we are all going at our own pace, our own speed. Our views and perspectives are going to be completely different, but the experiences could be similar. The experiences could be similar. So, the last time I feel like I was celebrated, of course, was my birthday. Okay. And of course, little small conversations I have with different people shows me, my growth in the things that I do differently. But I really thought that celebrating yourself was really like I feel like it was a cocky thing. Like, okay, or that I am bragging about myself, or just again egotistical. I'm thinking that type of stuff. But that's the things that you should do. And then when people say celebrate yourself, but don't overboard, what does that really mean? What does that really mean? Like, am I going to you mean to tell me if I bake myself a cupcake, I can only taste just a little corner of it and that's it? I don't get the whole cupcake? Please don't ask me why the reference was food. I have no idea. I'm not even hungry, but I don't know. But do you mean to tell me that I only get to celebrate just a little bit and then it's approved by who? Who's setting the limitation or the ceiling on how you celebrate yourself? I want to know. I want to know. But the last time I feel like I was celebrated was my birthday. And I get it, it should be outside of your birthday, but just the little things that I have shared with my friends or share with them and let them know the things that I like to do. And my birthday, oh my goodness, I get it. Yeah, cliche, it's your birthday. It's supposed to be about you, yes, but it wasn't just any type of party. It was the party. Like, it was amazing. So, again, shout out to all you wonderful women. And yeah, it was it was definitely a moment to remember. The next one, self-confidence is built when. You keep promises you make to yourself daily. You take action despite the self doubt. I'm gonna read that second one again because it's a nice little list, but this second one I'm gonna read again. You take action despite the self doubt. There was something that I need to do and that I'm going to do for Flourish Girl, and I got every obstacle that you could think of to let this thing happen. I'm talking about stayed up to almost 4:30 a.m. one night trying to get this thing done. And I still was not successful that night because of course I ended up falling asleep, having to be up a couple of hours later. But what got me and what made me feel good about me is that I did not give up. I didn't give up. And I'm still thinking, okay, what's another way I could do it? Maybe I could change this. It's in my mind because I want to do it. I just did not allow all of those obstacles because it was not just one. Okay, we face this thing here and there. No, I'm talking about every time I tried to do the thing that people said that I could do, it was a problem. So it's like, why are you showing people this stuff if it's not gonna work? I just kept laughing at myself. I was just, we're not gonna do that. Nope, we're not gonna do this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do what we said we was gonna do, and that's it. That's it. You take action despite the self doubt. Do it. Once it became, I can't do this, I can't do this. I mean, just a little moment. And I had to laugh at myself like, girl, shut up. Girl, please be quiet. Put a muzzle on it and hush. Hush, please. I got this. If I need your help, I'm going to ask. But not right now because look what you're doing. You complaining. You complaining, you thinking that it's not gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Just stay with it. Stay consistent. The next one is you surround yourself with supportive and uplifting people. Your circles matter. You take on challenges. Each win boosts your confidence, and each loss teaches you resilience. That sucked. I used to despise that word resilient. I used to despise that word resilient. Bounce back. I mean, I got to keep going through stuff. Like, why do I have to? I mean, okay, I get I'm bouncing back. All right, cool. That's so funny. My first Instagram name was Beauty and the Bounce Back. How nice. I want to see if somebody actually has that name. But yeah, the bounce back was just you bounce back. And people used to say that to me, like, you know what, how you overcome things and how how you bounce back. And I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want to bounce back. I don't have to bounce back. But if I don't bounce back, that means I'm still stuck in my mess. I'm still stuck in my mess. No, resilient for 500 over here, Bob. Thank you. You are kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. You embrace learning new things. You focus on yourself instead of comparing with others. You believe you deserve to take up space. You give less weight to others' opinions than your own. You figure out what you're good at, what you love doing. You pat yourself on the back every little victory. Okay. And then the next one says, attempt saying nothing negative for an entire. Okay. All right. Okay. Like, why are these screenshots yelling? They're yelling pretty loud. Attempt saying nothing negative for an entire day and see how that changes things for a whole day. You are not complaining, thinking negatively. And if you do, because I get it, if you are working from the same pattern every day, like you get up and put your same shoe on the other foot, the same way, same how, okay, I get it. It's you gonna have to work into that new thing, but be intentional on that. But Attempt saying nothing negative. Work that new, exercise this new part of your big, nice brain. Attempt saying nothing negative for an entire day and see how that changes things. What do you think will change too? I want to know. What do you think will change? What do you think will change if you were not, if you didn't think anything negative? I got a lot of stuff I can think about. So that means gotta focus on that. You gotta focus on that. Set your day right. Start your day off differently. I like to write things on my mirror. So every time I hit a mirror, I can see that okay, reminding myself that we got this. This is what we focusing on. Sticky notes. Listen, my house stays it stays colorful, especially when you I feel like I'm going through something, like I'm coming out of something. Oh, sticky notes. You got this. You got this. All right. Okay, you got this. Okay. It's saying all little personal stuff. I suggest you do the same thing if you can. I mean, you're gonna have nobody in your business. You're not gonna have nobody in your business, like reading your stuff, like what you got this, girl. Don't give up. You like, okay, all right. And who knows if other people were to see that as well, how would that make them feel? How you never know the silent battles that people are actually fighting daily. You never know. You never ever know. So think positively, speak positively. If you're not a person that usually speaks and say hello to people, do that. Cause if I smile at you, please say hello. Please, please say hello if I smile at you. If I say hello, you say hello too. Do something different. Okay? Show all 75,000 of your teeth to somebody tomorrow, y'all willing. Do that. That's gonna be good. Do that. So that's a little mini challenge. Nothing negative. If you ever catch yourself judging another woman living her best life, her confidence, her self expression, what she posts, the way she dresses, it's not her, it's you. Time to work on yourself because that jealous part, um, not good, not good. Comparing, not good. It still leaves room for you to have to finally get to know who you are because you'll learn to. You will learn how to become somebody else. You will learn how to act like somebody else, do the things that this person likes doing, and you're neglecting you. This whole time, you are neglecting you the whole time. The next one, study your patterns. The ultimate wisdom comes from knowing your whys, why you feel it, why you do it, why you repeat it. Knowing your whys gives you clarity about who you are. And when you know who you are, you become powerful, dangerous, and unstoppable. The next one says, one day you will tell people how you pulled yourself out of the ocean when you couldn't even swim. Don't you dare give up on yourself. I'm going to extend this though, and I kind of want to re-put this somewhere. Um, without Mr. Yahuwah, one day you will tell people how you pulled yourself out of the ocean. Nah, I can't take credit for it because I'm telling you, let it be just me. Let it solely be me. Who? Who finna go through that storm? For what? What I gotta go through there for? Why? Well, why me? Why you can't? Oh, okay. I got so much to say. Like, no, no. Hush it up. Hush it up. But don't you dare give up on yourself. You will definitely be able to share and help the next person. I have an episode. I cannot think of this season right now, but to the girl coming behind me, and just it kind of felt like I was talking to my younger self, but this could go to someone who's around that age or that ages from what I guess 16 all the way up to the my age now, which is none of your business. And if you know it, okay. But yeah, just what would I do different? What would I do differently? What would I what would I want to see more of? What I should have stopped earlier. All that good stuff to the girl coming behind me. Yes, sometimes you are the blueprint. Sometimes you are the blueprint for someone else to get it right. You're able to share it, and anytime you are ever able to share something you've gone through and know that someone else could, benefit from knowing, don't be afraid. Like, do not be afraid of that. Go ahead, release that thing. Let that listen. Allow, allow the change to happen. Allow the change to happen. Don't you dare give up on yourself. Nobody wants to tell you why discipline is so important. Discipline is the strongest form of self love. It's ignoring current pleasure for bigger rewards to come. It's loving yourself enough to give yourself everything you've ever wanted. If you're always dreaming about it, if you're always talking about it, if you're always writing about it, you're always planning about it and preparing yourself, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And having the discipline to say, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick to this and stay focused while doing this. Yes. Yes. The next one says, what if it all works out? What if? What if it all works out? Then what? Then what? That goes back to the mini challenge of going a whole day without being negative and then repeating it and then repeating it. What if it all works out? And all the worries and the stuff you got going on in your brain. What if it all works out and then bam, you wouldn't be focused on the why it won't work. It's not gonna work because of this, that, and the third. You'll just do it. Just do it. You're allowed to reinvent yourself as often as you like. Give yourself permission to let go of the parts of your identity that no longer fits. Again, that goes back to the first question I asked, which was, how was your week? And the thing that made me look at life differently. There's a lot of things and a lot of ways that I was, and a lot of things I did that no longer fit me now. That no longer fit me now. And to see the things like you're becoming this person that's like, oh my, who am I? Who is she? Or who would she like to be? Who would she like to become? How would she like to, again, how would you like people to experience you? How would you like to experience yourself? They say you are the longest relationship you'll have. It's with yourself. Think about that. The woman I was yesterday introduced me to the woman I am today, which makes me very excited about meeting the woman I will become tomorrow. And I'll be screenshotting the mess out some quotes. I'll be screenshotting now. Like, oh, okay, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one. If you continue to wait until you're ready, you're going to wait your entire life. I feel like I just had this talk with my sister in law. She's actually getting ready to have her first child with my brother and packing her hospital bag for the baby. I think 5 weeks away. And just okay, well, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that. And I'm like, listen, you won't always be prepared for things in life. Like you really won't always be prepared for the things that are to come. But as long as you have, as long as you focus in on, what, this is something new. I don't know what I'm doing, but I am going to give it one heck of a try. I'm going to give my best. I'm going to give my all. I feel like you're going to be all right. I saw something in my book. I go through my old journals every now and again, and the quote said, if I lose, who care? If I fail, who cares? I didn't lose. And I was like, what? And judging off by my handwriting, because my handwriting has changed over the years, but it's still, it's similarities still. But I'm like, oh my goodness. But kind of like, what you talking about? What sparked you to say that one thing? Like, what was it? I don't know. I don't remember. I do not remember, but I think that's pretty cool to be able to go back and see how your mindset has changed over things and where you are with certain things. Another thing that I spoke about with my dad was, well, what he told me. He was like, you can't control what you can't control, you accept. I'm like, I think I've heard that before, but like digging more into it on you can't what you can't control, just accept it. And then determine what that looks like in your life. Like where do you put that? What do you do with this relationship or this certain thing, whatever it is? What do you do with it next? Hmm, pretty neat. Grateful for everything that forced me to love myself more. The next one says, what I realized a while ago, sitting in your own mess is one of the hardest things to do. Realizing all the situations you put yourself in, all the ways you could have and should have protected yourself, all the mistakes and bad decisions you made against your boundaries. The moment where you sit and realize that other people don't deserve the full blame and that you were a part of your own destruction, sitting in it is hard, but forgiving yourself is harder. Growth is not linear. There will be days like this. Sit in it, but don't stay there. Don't make a home there, Vice City. Y'all remember that was what, 2 episodes ago? The next one says, today I learned about a term called a glimmer, which is the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the lookout for glimmers, these tiny moments will appear more and more because you're looking forward to it. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I like that. I definitely like that. But if you truly had time to think about what's in your heart, or how was your heart doing, or how's your heart functioning? If you truly had time to think about that today, right now, in this moment, if you have time and if you want to, write it down. Write down everything that you feel when you ask yourself or you self reflect on how your heart feels. I know that it's beating, but what what's in there? What's all in there? What you got going on? What you got going on? What do you have going on? What has you staring in space at times? What has you, not being able to focus? Or what have you holding you back from your goals? Or what's in there? What are you telling yourself? I saw a question that said, what do others say about you and what do you say about you? What do others say about you, and what do you say about you? Hmm. What what would you say? What would you say about yourself, and what do you think others say about you? I was thinking about that. Now, if I remember to put that on the next episode, I will. But I don't. I'm gonna have to think about that question. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna have to come back to me. Definitely gonna have to come back to me. But take the time out to see, like I stated, take the time to see how your heart is doing. See how your heart is doing today. And what if you're worried about something, it's gonna be all right. It's going to be all right. And you may not know the ways you will have to get to all right, but you'll get there. You'll get there. Stay consistent. I saw another quote that said, "Discipline is the new self love." And I also saw one that said, "Discipline is a form of self love." Like being disciplined. When I think about discipline, I think of just like harsh, hard army training, boot fitted. Like I think of that. Standing attention, discipline. I think of all of that. But the discipline that also comes to mind now is the consistency that comes with pushing yourself and knowing that the goal you set for you, you going to get there. Knowing that I'm not going to let anything get in the way of that. That's the discipline that I'm focused on. I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it. It's near. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So, don't forget the challenge that we said, y'all. Go the whole day without complaining. And if you do, I have to tell myself sometimes, nope, 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 we're not doing this. We're not doing this. I'm talking about, I will say it too. I will say it loud. I'm sure people, if anybody was around, I'm sure they would have thought that I was crazy. But no, we're not doing that. We are better than this. Okay. This is something every day, just like forgiveness. I saw that in my notebook as well. Forgiveness is something I feel like you have to do that thing every day until it no longer has the reaction to you the way it should. Like, nope. You think about a old situation. Nope, I forgave that person about it. Nope, nope. Retraining your brain. Nope, mm-mm. Nope, we moving past that. Nope, that's not what we do. Nope. And that I feel like is the scariest part because you become okay with the way you've been. And then when it's time to change, it's the hardest thing. And then the hardest thing is realizing and having to admit that you're shedding the things that, mm-mm, that negative mind, no, negative self talk, no, negative conversations, no, negative places, negative people, negative memories, things that do not push you forward to be the best that you can be. Nope. Go the whole day without negativity. That all is negativity, self doubt, self sabotage, period. Comparing, shaming, just negative. Don't want it. Can't do it. All I can think about is that gift with I think it's Shaq, and it's kind of like he doing a little dance, but he's smacking away different words, drama and anxiety and hurt and just I can't think of the words that's on that, but yeah, that got to be you all day. Get to it. Get to smacking stuff left and right, not people. smacking, characteristics and qualities about yourself and things like that. Just get the bad out, bring the good in. Get the bad out, get the good in. All right. So, on to the best part of the night. The best part. Not the best part of waking up is soldiers in your cup. Not talking about that. But the best part of your night. Almond milk and agave. This is where we give a quote. And throughout the week, you are going to focus on these quotes, something close to affirmations. And sometimes it's not an affirmation. I want to know what's the difference between a quote, advice, and affirmations. Hmm, I think that'll be cool to know. Hmm, yeah, I want to know that. But this is where we have those little things we're gonna push you into the week with, and we'll maybe talk about it next episode. Of course, like I said, if I remember, if I don't remember, I believe that mommy brain has literally it's still attacking me. It is still attacking me. But if I do not remember, you remember the things that we go over and talk about so we can constantly think about keep that's the focus. That's the focus. The first one I'm going to say is the power you have is to be the best version of yourself you can be, so you can create a better world. The next one is don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. You can go as far as your mind lets you. Focusing in on trying to, being concerned of your health and making better health choices, just with any and everything, I feel like starts with your mental. I feel like everything starts with your mental. Where are you? You'll write something down, you say you're going to do something, but then if you mentally are not polished, and here come that discipline word, when you're not disciplined to do things, this quote says you'll go as far as your mind will go, as far as your mind lets you. Strengthen your mind to allow yourself to feel like you can do any and everything, especially the things you know you need to do. Strengthen your mind. Do not allow negative thoughts, negative anything to keep you from doing the things you know you need to do. Period. I am also absorbing that as well within myself. This is not always just going to be about you. You need to do this, you need to do that. I'm only speaking on it in majority of the time because I've either gone through it, I am going through it enough to where I can say something about it. But the negative thoughts, the negative everything you have going on is going to reward you in a negative outcome. Period. Period. Okay. So do me a favor, do not forget our challenge. I will post in the chat ZMR Radio. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come on this platform again. Thank you to everyone who participated in the chat, everybody that is listening at this moment. I appreciate the support. Truly, truly, truly. Everybody have an amazing week. Have an amazing week. But this is another episode of Flourish Girl Flourish, the podcast. Please make sure you have an amazing week. And if you could not answer the first question from the beginning, which was, what was one thing that had you look at life differently this week? Take time to consider that. Take time to, if you can, make sense of it. Write it down in your journal. I encourage you to journal. I encourage you to journal. And if you don't have a journal, get one and maybe one coming soon. It may be one coming soon. So if you want to wait for me, that would be great. Okay. If not, and you have your own journal, when it does drop, you're gonna have to let that one go. You don't have another choice either. Okay. Thank you. All right. And if you heard that, you heard it. If you didn't, you didn't. This is another episode of Flourish Girl Flourish, the podcast. This is your host, Wendy J. Until next time.
Hey y'all, this your girl
Tree
LV.
Hootie, serving y'all.
This is Danielle Jones, and you're listening to ZMR Radio.
Don't touch that dial.